This is TY back with another video. Today I want to talk about the outcome to the David Benevidez Caleb Plant. I want to talk about the whole card, or at least touch, get a little touch bases on a few fights that was on the card last night. Start off with the Chris Colbert and Rayo. I forgot the dude's name, but I just know him. I know him as Rayo. But the fight was close, but it could have either been a draw or Rayo could have won the fight. I mean, I think Rayo got a knockdown like in the first round or something like that, and they end up giving Chris Colbert the decision. The fight could have definitely been a draw, or Rayo could have had it by an edge. I don't know. But, I don't know. I guess, it is what it is. I just feel like, they might be pushing Chris Colbert, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he after this fight he might fight Frank Martin next. Who knows? He was supposed to fight Frank Martin at first, but something happened. I don't exactly remember exactly what happened, but I know that they're probably looking forward to making that Frank Martin Chris Colbert fight. But I thought it was close, but I thought Rayo had won the fight. But it is what it is. The Joey Spencer fight against the Ramos guy, Joey Spencer just got bounced back. The guy was pretty. That was a big guy that he was in there. He was fighting with. He was getting hit with shots, and really wasn't much he could do against this guy. Nothing that really was phasing him at all. So, dude was a pretty huge guy. Hopefully Joey Spencer can bounce back from that. And can't wait to see him come back. Now to the main event. We're talking about David Benevidez and Caleb Plant. For the first 6 rounds, I had Caleb Plant winning the fight. Caleb Plant was doing exceptionally well. He was outboxing David Benevidez. He was doing everything that he was supposed to do against David Benevidez. He was outboxing him. He was moving around the ring, using his jab, using combinations, doing everything that he was supposed to do in the first 6 rounds. But then in the last 6 rounds, it just changed. I think it was like in the 8th round where it really the tide really started to turn. Really, when it really started turning was when David Benevidez had caught Caleb Plant with a right hand and rocked him. He rocked Caleb Plant, and Caleb Plant was holding on for dear life. Kenny Bayless was doing everything he could. He stopped. Wow, I was trying to say everything that he could, but he was he basically stopped it because maybe I don't know if it was an accidental headbutt or something where it cut Caleb Plant, but he stopped it right in the middle of where Caleb Plant was hurt. So that gave Caleb Plant some time to recover, but it really didn't matter because like I said, the last 6 rounds, David Benevidez started to turn it on. Next thing you know, David Benevidez was hitting it with uppercuts, hitting it with shots, and really nothing that Caleb Plant could do. It just seemed like David Benevidez was just walking through anything that Caleb Plant was throwing. And it wasn't like Caleb Plant wasn't throwing back. He was throwing back. He was throwing combinations. He was trying to fight back. But it just wasn't enough to keep David Benevidez off of him. David Benevidez kept coming, kept hitting it with shots. The more, you could see that, just hitting him with more power shots and hitting him into the body. And that was another thing that David Benevidez was doing early in the fight, was hitting Caleb Plant a lot in the body. And that I think that may have something to do with Caleb Plant slowing down in the end. But also, this is an issue that Caleb Plant's had for a while now. Is he's always his gas tank always runs low towards the end of fights. He always does well in the beginning, but then towards the end is when he starts to fade. But congratulations to both guys. David Benevidez got the win. It was a unanimous decision. I thought the fight was a lot closer than that, but you know, you have to give David Benevidez his credit. He did what he was supposed to do. You know, he got the last 6 rounds. He hurt Caleb Plant a few times. It looked like he was going to get Caleb Plant up out of there, but you know, it didn't happen. Caleb Plant just had too much heart and pride, and he just wasn't about to get knocked down by David Benevidez. He just wasn't going to allow it. He was rather gonna take the punishment instead of, you know, getting knocked down or getting knocked out by David Benevidez. So they both you know, hugged it out in the end. So that was good to see that both guys, put their anger and all that stuff to the side and just said, you know what, they squared it out in the middle of the ring. So I'm happy to see that as well, but this was a good fight overall. It was good to see 2 guys going at it that, of course they didn't like each other at first. And they put it all out on the line, in this fight. Caleb did what he was supposed to do, but he just didn't do enough to hold on, because had he still had enough energy, and had he would have stuck with his plan of what he was doing in the beginning, he would have beaten David Benevidez. But you got to give David Benevidez credit. He hurt Caleb Plant with some shots, and he did enough to win. So now the question is, will Canelo fight David Benevidez now? I think that, people got to start putting pressure on Canelo to start fighting guys now. Of course, Canelo's going to do whatever he wants to do, but, will there be the same, will that be the same pressure for Canelo to fight David Benevidez as it was for Canelo when he had to fight Triple G the first time? Will that be the same pressure? Will there be, will the fans come together and say, you know what, we're tired of you, Canelo, fighting guys like John Ryder and Caleb Smith and John Smith and John David Smith III? Like, will we see you fight David Benevidez? Will we see you fight guys like Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Andrade? We'll see. I'm not holding my breath, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Canelo will give David Benevidez a shot, but we'll see, man. I don't know. I just don't see Canelo doing the right thing and saying, you know what, I'm going to fight this dude now. I don't see him doing it unless he gets pressure to do it. But even then, he's he at this point, he doesn't really need to, he's just kind of like, forget it. I don't have to fight anymore if I don't have to. And that's kind of the route I see him going. So, again, congratulations to David Benevidez. We'll see what happens next. Hopefully he does get the Canelo fight. If not, I mean, there's Demetrius Andrade, there's Jamal Charlo, but I don't know what Charlo's going to do. Is he going to stay at 160 or is he going to come up to 168? I don't know. So that's kind of up in the air right now. What is he going to do? But, there's a couple of fights out there for David Benevidez, and the same for Caleb Plant. It's not all over for Caleb Plant. Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant can fight. You know what I'm saying? Jamal Charlo can have his tune-up and fight Caleb Plant, or maybe he can get a tune-up and fight Caleb Plant after. I mean, so I don't know. It's too much action, too much smoke at these divisions now for these guys not to fight each other now. So we'll see what happens. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the whole entire LDBC, and let me know what you guys think and who you guys want to see David Benevidez fight next. Does the David Benevidez Canelo fight happen next or not? Let me know what you guys think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Peace.